Hello and welcome to another edition of RSF Radio. Kind of a departure of what you might be used to. This is usually a very Street Fighter focused show, but I have a very special guest with me tonight, a three-time EVO champ, captain of Proton Gaming, Perfect Legend. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty well, man. Thank you for having me.
It is a honor. But I mean, not just EVO. I mean, you've won your history in fighting games goes back quite a ways now.
Yeah, I've been competing, well, more so like playing since I can remember since about like 4 or 5 years old, going to arcades and stuff. And I didn't know about the competitive scene till late 2004. Mm-hmm. So I've been around since then.
That's like pretty early, like, because you see a lot of people say that like the scene really took off around like 2009 with like Street Fighter 4, but like back then, that's like, I guess you would quote unquote call that old school. But we're not here to talk about the past. We're here to talk about the future and the present. So at the top of the show, what I like to do when I have new guests on is ask them about what they've got going on right now. To like, if you have anything that you've got brewing, anything that you want to pitch, where people can follow you, or what you want to point people towards, get that out right in front of the show so people can't avoid it. So what do you got going on?
All right, definitely. Well, right now, as far as me, like individually, I'm just training for events and stuff because I'm still like competing, and I just love competing. Mm-hmm. Playing Street Fighter, Tekken, MK, Dragon Ball, Smash. I'm kind of playing everything, but you can see me like training stuff on my Twitch.tv/Perfect Legend. Also, it's Perfect Legend for pretty much everything. YouTube. On IG though is the real Perfect Legend. I just mostly post on my stories and whatnot. And on Twitter is where I'm mostly active at Perfect Legend. And I'm also promoting Black Salt Corruption, which is a new fight game that's coming out for Nintendo Switch. It's a 3D arena fighting game. It plays similar to Power Stone, but with command normals. If you're familiar with how Devil May Cry and Ninja Gaiden play, it plays very similar to that if it had a 1v1 mode. And it's really fun, and all the characters are original designs. And they have their own lore and comic book and movie and everything behind it. And hopefully people check it out because it's really fun.
What's the name of that?
Black Salt Corruption.
Black Salt Corruption. I haven't heard of that. I'll have to look that up. I like having fighting games on the Switch. That is like,
yeah, dude,
it's pretty nice. I got to say.
Yeah, it's the perfect game for a Switch too. And I think a lot of people will like it. Right, you can check out the pre-release version also on the Steam right now.
Okay.
So for people who can't wait for the Switch, you can just, basically demo that. And also, just really trying to help people understand fighting games at a better level competitively outside of just, playing them. So I try to educate people as much as I can with my Discord and stuff and putting content out when I can between traveling and competing.
Yeah, that's something that I've noticed is that you're pretty hands-on with your community. People who at least come to your Twitch channel, it's like it's a place of learning, a place of experience. I like people who run things that way. It's a good way to spread knowledge and grow the community. Yeah,
it's a lot easier because when I play, it's probably the best time to come and play with me and just like ask me stuff game related. If I'm like making a YouTube video and all that, for me, it just feels like a lot of planning that goes behind it, and then you gotta wait for it to upload and all that. Like a 10-minute video feels like it takes like a lot longer to make when I want to pack in the right amount of information. When I'm literally playing with someone, I can hands-on tell them everything, you know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, like in the Discord, I have other members in my community when I'm not like around will help people too.
Cool. I'm for that. But anyway, other than that, that's all you kind of want to pitch for right now?
Yeah, right
anything
now.
Anything for
That's
your
all I
team that
got
you got going on?
Sorry, what was the last part?
Anything for your team that you have going on? Anything like that?
No, right, not right now. We are definitely like looking and scouting for players though right now to add to
Okay.
the team. But other than that, not right now. Not anything I can really talk about.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I know how that can be sometimes.
Yeah, there's a lot of NDA stuff.
All right. Well, with that, I kind of want to move into the main topic. And one of the main reasons why I had you on, or asked you on, is because a couple weeks ago, this wasn't the first time that I'd seen you say something like this publicly, but you drew a comparison between how the FGC tends to speak up about, hey, like, it's like depression is and anxiety is like very real and it's something that you need to like face, and if you have it, then like people can be there for you, and it's all this like togetherness stuff. But then you weigh that also against how almost bully like the FGC can be, or how, you know, we like to pick on people. Like, would you like to kind of delve into that and what you might have meant by that?
It's like being at the cafeteria in a lunch table in high school. That's exactly how it is. It's like a lot of people that seem to didn't have got that out of their system during those times, let it pour into either their regular life or the FGC life, because they feel like there's a lot of people who play games and they don't compete, they don't go travel or whatever, and then the ones that do, they show up and they're like, oh well, this is just my sub life or whatever, right? So whatever they say doesn't really matter. That's how they feel. So they'll blurt and say whatever they want, especially over the internet, to anybody, and then they'll do it for maybe years and years and years. And it can get to the point where, like, at least for me, harassment and all that stuff, I mean, honestly, if we were in the old days in real life, you would just get beat the fuck up for doing that shit, honestly. But you can't do that in the modern days. I mean, you can, but there's definitely a lot more consequences, and you have to think about more than just yourself. You also affect your family. Say you got arrested and stuff. There's pretty sure no one's family wants them behind bars or dead. So the way you have to go about dealing with certain stuff, you have to just either suck it up or I guess beat them in game or something. It depends on what's going on. Like, at least lately, FGC, actually not lately, all the time, FGC is very selective what they care about. If someone's being mistreated and it's someone they don't like, they don't care. But if it's someone that they like, then mental health matters, mental health awareness, anxiety, et cetera, et cetera. But if y'all don't like that person, y'all just go in on now. Like, for example, bringing this up is controversial. Like, Tom just got basically destroyed, manhandled by the community with the perception of him because, you know, the whole drama with the donation thing. Even though I heard he gave the money back, it still doesn't excuse the times before that as well as that time. Now, at least from my perspective.
Let's maybe reel it back to explain that situation. Is that Tom Brady?
Clearly he was taking money from his supporters to go to events and you wouldn't show up. That's pretty much what it was. Bottom line, he got found out and then he admitted to it, and apparently he also gave the money back. But the reason everybody got on him is because, like, how he would talk to his supporters, and also he wouldn't show up to stuff. And I mean, you gotta call a spade a spade. When you fuck up, you fuck up. And they're since they're policing something, they're showing that, they have great intentions. They're such a great person. They're trying to show that, you know, they're trying to make sure the community's whatever. But they'll still jump on somebody, whether someone's wrong or not. They will still go ham on someone's mental health. Like, is this person supposed to stop existing? Period. Like, is that what we're doing now? We're the judge and executioner.
Yeah, I think that the key takeaway here, even after talking about specific events, we've talked about that on this show. I linked to that episode a while back, but the matter of people deeming who is worthy of not being like people, like it seems that I agree with you that there is a certain mentality where people see certain people within the community of deemed whether or not they are worthy of harassment or what's the other word I'm looking for? Like not love, but like empathy.
They deserve to be.
Yeah, like
we don't have a word, but
compassion.
deserve to be canceled. But there's and all that stuff. Like, I don't understand how like someone could say, "Oh, you shouldn't be allowed to do this anymore because of what you did." Like, there's no path to redemption. There's no, and that's just and what I'm getting at here, because it seems like I might be trying to like defend people. I'm not. If you fuck up, you fuck up. You should be punished for it. But I don't think you should be harassed and bullied for anything you do. Even, for example, for me, right, the whole 13-0 thing. You can go on literally every YouTube video I've made since 2015, and there is a 13-0 comment on it. Now, most normal people probably go damn crazy seeing that shit. Like, dude, come on, man. Are y'all done with this? But me, I just see it like, man, this person's really bored. And
that's like the lowest tier. That's like the lowest denominator kind of joke that someone can make. Even just seeing you, it's just like they have no. It's not a real interaction. Almost.
Dude, to this day, people still do it. Somebody came to the channel yesterday while I was streaming, and I was like, "Anybody want to get some games in?" He's like, "Yeah, man, I'll 13-0 you." And I'm just like, "Okay, dude, I'm not even going to respond to you no more."
I mean, that person's not there to have a conversation. They're there to make their joke and then disappear forever.
Yeah, like, and you know, honestly, I would respect somebody more if they said it to my face. I'd be like, okay, you have the balls.
Well, yeah. I mean, I can get that, especially if it's like someone. I don't know. This is another kind of territory of like people who you know well and have a rapport with can joke with you, whereas strangers, it is more difficult. But also in the times
people, that's the thing. People that know me don't even.
But even so, in the times that we live in, the difference between stranger and person who you feel like you have a connection to because of things like streaming and how vocal we are on social media, that line becomes so blurred that
people overstep boundaries.
Right. Constantly. Yeah. It's a constant, like, where is that line of this person? You've probably never actually met this person before, but they have this like deep seated, like I feel like I have a history with you, when really it's just you're a very public person.
Yeah. Right. It's really weird, man. And then what I don't get is that people will hate me for, I don't know, calling something broken in the fighting game. But somebody can literally assault another player at a tournament and they'll sweep it under the rug. And they would stop people from behind the scenes getting opportunities and stuff. Like, for example, they gave me a reveal ticket to go to the MK11 reveal, and then because I announced that I had a ticket, they took it back from me.
Huh.
But I'm this toxic person though, right? Like I deserve all this issues because I said Sonic did well because Katana had got buffed, which was literally a fact. That's what happened at that time, during the tournament or whatever. It wasn't me trying to discredit Sonic. Sonic's one of the greatest players ever, but I mean that's been known for years. But they tried to make it seem like I was taking. There's nothing. I don't have any power.
Right. There's a different. I don't
understand that.
There's a different.
Huh?
There's like a different level of scrutiny for someone in your position versus anyone else who would say, like, if I were to say, for example,
I've
like
never
Sonic.
Scammed anybody out of money. I've never hit somebody. I've never done any of these stuff to people. I've never stopped someone's cash flow. I've never tried to stunt, like, help do anything like that. But I'll get ostracized for less when there's real stuff out here. People are like bullying people and stuff, harassing people, sexual harassment, all that.
Yeah, and it becomes strange when we think about that type of harassment and also the blurred line of what is just general trash talk or what is just general fighting game vernacular. Like, you could take to Twitter and say, this is whack ass broke, and anyone who plays this character is a chump. And you could just like flippantly say that. You could.
Someone told me I need to die because I had like talked about a character, and they took it personal because they used the character.
See, that's neurotic. That's crazy. Like, I mean, I don't necessarily don't want to use those words because there might be actual mental health issues with. I don't want to. I want to be.
That's the thing. Then they'll claim that. Like, you can't be a total ass to somebody and be like, oh, well, I got mental health problems. We all do. Everyone has a degree of something.
But you're right though. It becomes weird whenever there's a
like, you have to be fair across the board or don't be fair at all.
When you take like a baseline opinion on something and then someone tells you to go kill yourself, and it's like, oh, this is like, how do you
on both sides? Because
where does that come from?
I said that because I have mental health issues,
right?
And the other person could have mental health issues, and you just told them to kill themselves. That could be like the time where they were probably like feeling cool about themselves or whatever. They were just, I don't know. But there's a lot of people that also use fighting games to cope with mental health. I'm one of them. A lot of other people are too.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying, and everyone has different degrees of something going on. I just think people just need to be more kind to each other. Like, honestly, like, think about, how you would want to be treated. Like, people need to stop yelling at other people or players or entities, including like companies and stuff. There's like somebody behind that Twitch account or that Twitter account. Always.
Yeah. I think that's a good thing to note too, because people who are like, let's put it this way, the people who run those accounts have certain words blocked where they're not even going to see it if you say like, this is fucking bullshit, I can't believe you would do this, and like you at them on it, like that language in general just could be blocked entirely, so they wouldn't be able to, like, they wouldn't even see it. So your cries of hate would fall on deaf ears because it literally can't go through whatever filters they have set up. And like, to that end, I personally think that is a good thing for the other actual human being who has to run that account. Like, I think about Capcom Fighters with, I just happen to know personally that Carolyn runs that Twitter account, and she's one of the kindest.
Awesome. She's one of the best people we have in our
truly
community.
She's kind, she's a warm-hearted person, she's incredibly intelligent, and having this sweet, pure, good person run that account, and what I'm sure probably gets thrown at that account is probably some buck wild shit, especially considering how things went this weekend. I'm not saying that, I mean, Capcom Cup had its good and bad moments, but like, there were some things that
they still don't deserve to hate. I mean, like, we all tweeted something saying like, it's fucked up, they fucked up, somebody fucked up. We know,
right? We're
all human too at the end of the day. And also, look, if this update isn't the biggest I'm sorry, this is the biggest I'm sorry. This update is the cool dude. I wish the game came out like this. Now, I'm upset because the game, we are only going to be able to play this game for like a year, because they said like, what, 2021 won't be another Capcom Cup, or it won't be slated or something like that.
Yeah, that's kind of like in the, I think it was Chelsea on Twitter. She working for UIU. I know her through JB. Anyway, she's fantastic, by the way. She's like a great,
she's awesome too.
Tournament organizer.
I've been around at the Wednesday Night Fights events with her, like TO, and it's awesome.
Yeah, she's phenomenal. But she noticed, well, in the notes, it said that the winner of 2020's Capcom Cup will not be guaranteed a position in 2021. The only other time that happened was when we switched over from USF4 to Street Fighter V in that year. So it is maybe likely that the Pro Tour will be based on another Street Fighter game, or maybe Honestly, I don't know.
Or we can get Street Fighter V Super Duper Edition.
Yeah, seeing how the production went with Capcom Cup this year and what they might have plans for, but also like on the other end of it, it seems like there's a lot of lower mid-tier things that are going on, like with I keep bringing up Super League and people still don't know what the fuck that is, and there's gonna be like different tournaments throughout, like almost like a minor league of that also. And then how will the Capcom Pro Tour be run in 2020 is kind of still up in the air. No one really knows, but I don't know. Regardless, back to the point though, is that there's a person there that has to weed through all that stuff, and and the type of criticism that is go kill yourself criticism is,
they get that a lot too. Like,
right. But it's not it does nothing, right?
It doesn't do anything. You send out any kind of negative vibes or energy into the world, it's going to come back. And I mean, just as much people feed positive energy, you can feed negative energy, and it can grow and become like worse. And
right,
a lot of that is bottled up, and people got to like have their coping mechanisms to deal with it, or be able to just have it brush off of them, you know?
Right. Like generally saying, hey, man, this sucks. This was terrible. Actually, like, you're not actually saying anything, even though that's what fits into a tweet. So, like, just being more... I think I just want to pull this up just to say that people need to be more conscious about the type of criticism they're throwing out in the world, or at least be more articulate in how they express their feelings or their thoughts on a product or service. I don't know. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Like, people can be, you can have criticism. Like, 'cause, look, I'll admit, in the past, I wasn't my best at far as explaining my like disgust with certain stuff during like MKX or whatever. I could have been better at my criticism or giving it. But like, my heart was always in the right place. And I'm sure all these people's hearts, or a lot of them, their heart's in the right place. But because they're so filled with passion, they're not able to correctly conduct what they want to say. And I can understand that, because sometimes you just want to blurt something out. You're like, it just comes out like the hawk or something, but you got to redirect the energy. Like, all right, why do I feel like this? And try to write down everything and find the root of it, of how you feel. So, and then you're like, all right, well, this is what I should say. And I know also a lot of people feel like they're not being heard, and they pay money for a product, and it should be the way that they anticipated it should be because they paid for it. And I also understand that too, but
yeah, you kind of
we still have to be more kind to each other.
Yeah, that's fair. I think you also bring up a good point, and this isn't to like disparage you at all, but you're not the first person who has said something like this where I completely agree with you and kind of want to dig into that. But again, I want to say you're a 3-time Evo champ. You know what the fuck you're doing when it comes to playing the fighting games. But for whatever reason, I have found that a lot of the top players, a lot of the best players that we have in the community in general, are actually really bad at explaining why or how, like, their decisions or what makes something good, like their way of breaking fighting games
yeah, I
down.
totally understand what you're saying. Yeah,
it can be generally bad.
Yeah, dude, it is.
It can be hard. It can be hard to translate that sometimes.
Yeah, as a player that's trying to go from game to game and learn different stuff and asking other players like, hey, why did you do this, et cetera, et cetera. Yes, a lot of them are bad at explaining stuff, but that's also because, like, it's easier to feel a game and how it should be played than it is to explain it sometimes, especially when you're first starting off. And I had to spend years teaching myself how to explain what I was feeling.
Right. Yeah, I understand that, because it's hard to say, like, when you do fighting games at a higher level, you just know intrinsically, oh, I need to walk back and do a jab check right now. This like feels like the right time to do that for whatever reason.
You have to explain why it feels that right.
Right. Is like, almost impossible to describe to someone who is just, especially to someone who is like just starting out, or someone who, let's say, might be extremely vocal about fighting games on Twitter.com.
Yeah, this is the stuff I want to make content wise, but I feel like it takes so long.
Yeah, there's that too. I mean,
like even explaining like, hey, why did I press like, crouch medium kick in this range? Well, because blah blah. Like I feel like I could spend 5 minutes on just
right,
that, explaining that alone, and I'm like, who's going to sit here and listen to this?
Yeah, I mean the metrics tell you that like fucking no one actually.
Yeah, so I'm like, hey man, I'd rather people come while I'm streaming and just ask me while I'm playing. I mean, like, but then sometimes, man, too many people are in the stream and I don't know. Look, I've had like 1,000 people in the stream and I do not know how to talk to all of them. It's like, yeah, you can put slow mode on and all that, but it's not the same. So my streams they're like they're a little bit smaller, which is cool. It's easier to manage talking to people, but I don't know what I would do with if it was a lot of people.
Yeah, it's hard to. It is a problem of scale, and I think that the fighting game community is continually combating this problem of scale, where we are this growing community of players and fans of the genre, and yet the tools for us to effectively communicate with each other aren't there. In games that are, at least in my opinion, it is so important to have that human connection when playing against other players. It is at the core of fighting games, and making that communication more difficult. I mean, even in Street Fighter V, it's almost impossible to find your opponent if you're just doing random ranked matches.
Yeah, in ranked, you're only limited to 2 matches.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, and 3, if you lose one and they win one, then you win another, and then it's a last game for 3 rounds, but 3 matches. But right, like I want to play and just play.
The conversation that you're going to have with that person through the game itself is extremely limited in scope. But to actually learn and enjoy, and at least in my opinion enjoy, is to have that human connection with someone, have that explanation of like looking over and saying, why the fuck did you just do that? Like, or sweep at that range, really? Like, why when you have those moments where you're just like confounded with someone's decision, and then maybe they'll explain to you, or maybe they'll go, I don't know why I fucking did that. And then you go, okay, this fucking idiot over here. Like, of course.
But then also there's a level where you already know why they did that because you're so studied up. Like, I'm like that in a lot of games where if someone were to do something and it was wild, I could still understand why and just be ready for it to combat against it. Like, say, in Dragon Ball Fighters or something. Like, why would they super dash in a certain range or whatever? Because fight games still play off of reactions and what the human can and can't react to. Like, once you get, lower than maybe 18, 17 frames, things become hard to react to. But anything like 20 and over, it's hard to react to, but you can react to it. But when you're playing online in delay, what people don't realize, here's another thing that's being blurred too much, is the online offline play. A lot of people mistake online for the real deal when it's not, or they mistake it for the thing that's closest to the real deal. It's not. Like, if you want to really get the best experience, you can't play online fighting games on console. You have to play on PC, at least for a lot of games like Tekken. I think Street Fighter is better on PC as well, at least online, because I don't know what's up with the Xbox or PlayStation servers, but we are not getting what we pay for. Paying, look, I know it's only a one-time fee a year, but it's still for us all to collectively pay for this, and it still feels like we have to go through a separate tunnel just to get to their servers to play. Because I can feel the delay difference in Tekken, in Street Fighter. I can feel it in MK. I can feel it in Dragon Ball. I never get 1 frame matches in delay on Dragon Ball, but I get it on PC. But I don't get it on console. Same thing. I never get blue bar. I never see a blue bar connection on MK or Tekken, but I see it on PC. So I know that our issue is a lot of people probably can't afford the PC. I think they should save up for it. If you're gonna buy a console, you might as well save up that extra $300 to buy a PC or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's also the other conversation of like, we're recording this in a time where the PlayStation 5 and the new Xbox are like just being announced and kind of rolled out feature wise of what they have. In my opinion, I'm with you. Like, if you're trying to play fighting games, the PC is kind of where it's at. Even though when you go to an actual event, they basically have to have consoles there, because there's that whole other issue, a driver issue of like making sure that everyone's controller will work, or compatibility issues. There's way more issues that you would need to deal with.
And we could just also limit it to where, look, you have to be using a PS4 or Xbox hardware directly, because we have the drivers for those, and boom. Because I know everybody wants to use their dang lunchbox controller or whatever, and they want to use whatever they made in woodshop class, or what should be a bitch, but it says arcade stick. Look, I get you. I understand poverty is real. But look, for the logistics of tournaments, if your ass is using a lunchbox arcade stick, you probably shouldn't be at a tournament, and you need to get your priorities straight.
There was a really good write-up by Loic Weed on Twitter, the WY.
Also, by the way, that's a joke. I don't want nobody to come at me like, "Whoa, what you got to say about arcade sticks?" Joystick, dude, I'm tired. Look, man, people also need. That's another thing, because I know we're talking about mental health and we're going off the subject a little bit, but I'm trying with all these examples and stuff is a purpose, because we have to go back to that. But that's the thing, like, people get too sensitive about every little thing, everything. Look, I have this quote, and it says, "The reasonable man." It's something like, the reasonable man doesn't expect the world to adapt to him. They adapt to the world, because the unreasonable man is the one that expects everyone to adapt to them. No, you can't. Look, there's going to be somebody that doesn't call you your name or the right pronoun or whatever. There's going to be somebody that fucks up. And those people who correct themselves and stuff, they're cool. But I understand there's people out here who are totally like assholes, and y'all need to stop being assholes. Like, there's no way. On both sides, I feel like people need thicker skin. But on another side, people need to be just respectful. You know what I'm saying? And at the day, no one wants. For example, if someone called somebody's mom a bitch, they ready to fight. And that's how I look at it when people are being disrespectful. That's the energy. And no one likes that feeling. You know what I'm saying? No one wants to hear, "Oh man, this person called your mom a bitch," or they want to hear the actual act of it happening. And that's just an example I'm gonna use that covers everything, because I'm sorry that you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? And people just need to be respectful, man. Like, we're all just trying to play games. We're trying to play fighting games. People are trying to level up and be the next Evo champion, be the next tour winner. You know what I'm saying? Like, people always talk about, "Oh, FGC is not much money and stuff." I don't want $250,000. I will slap the shit out of you. You talk about that money ain't enough, or it's too low. Look, it's on the low end, but there are places in the world you can live like a king with that amount of money. Okay?
I mean, that is quite a hunk of change. I mean, however, the other end of that, the people who ended up last at Capcom Cup got $250, and that's all. So, like,
that needs to change too.
Yeah, could the spread be a little bit better to help them? Probably.
Look, if you get last at Capcom Cup, you should at least get $1,000. I don't care what nobody says.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Especially going to LA, dude. Just going to LA, the flight costs more than $250. At least let them cover their flight and hotel and some food.
Yeah, like that might not even cover a day in a hotel, honestly. Like, depending on where you're staying. But no, the one thing that I'll agree with you on this, to the point of getting back to your point, is that at least the example of misusing a pronoun, if you fuck up and someone corrects us, "Hey, like, that's actually not what I go by. I'm they, them, I'm he, her," whatever they do. And then saying, "Oh, you know what? That my bad. I got you. Nope, like, that was, sorry for that." But it's the doubling down that we see a lot of people saying, like, people coming at them with like, "Hey, asshole, that's not what this person's pronouns are," and then being like, "Whoa, like I just, hey man, like they almost don't give them the opportunity to be."
It's like people are looking for any reason to be like, "Hey, I can attack you," because they want to attack somebody. Like, I'm not saying like physically attack them, but I feel like you're going at someone trying to either paint them out being something that they're not, or just basically being aggressive in your approach because you want to be aggressive. That's not right either.
Leaving no window of opportunity open for change or what's the recovery or anything like that of
no redemption or anything.
Yeah, no redemption or anything like that.
But then there's also those people who will overstep like that, like say misuse a pronoun, then apologize for it. But the way they apologize for it is, totally unsincere.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry you were offended. But.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate that I'm sorry you were offended people. No, no, it's you should be sorry for fucking up. Like, I'm sorry I didn't mean to do that. Or I actually, there are people who are sorry they didn't mean to do that and sorry because they didn't realize that how big of a problem it was. Like, you know what? I took the time and energy to understand why, so you can move, because we all can coexist, man. Like, I don't get why people just want to be assholes.
Right. It's that automatic closing. I think this goes back to the issue of the world that we live in, the pool that we all swim in is so large that the opportunity for anyone to come in, and it could just be, here's the weird thing, is that usually the people who will come at your throat and be the most aggressively angry at you are like the most random. It's someone who is like not at all any way related to, or even like might not even know exactly who you are.
And there'll be someone who had a bad day and they want to take it out on you.
And then, but those are the ones that you see. It's like of all of the comments that are out there, of all of the whole nothingness that is out there, of things that are easy to ignore. It's always that one that's always like, "Hey, fuck you, man. That ain't like you should fucking die for saying that." It's like, well, I don't even in some cases, like you said, you might not even know how or why you fucked up, or like why the thing you said could have been hurtful to someone or some group of people, and thus closing that window of opportunity for any kind of rehabilitation or any kind of like apology. It takes that away from that person because of how
just like
aggressive
that
that
the N-word, man, in the broadcast or something or whatever, or somebody that feels like because they grew up around black people that they can just throw it around. No, you cannot. You just can't.
Can't have your heated gamer moment. That's not. Just remove it from your vernacular.
The thing is, like, everybody that has done that has just been brushed. They haven't lost anything. That's a real lowest common denominator. Is like, if a black person does something, no matter how small, it get jumped on top of. But if someone disrespects black people, it doesn't matter.
That also is a good point. That's weird to touch upon too, because the consequences for any kind of minority group is far greater than for white people. Honestly,
imagine if I scammed people out of money and donations.
Right,
what would happen to me? I would be in jail right now.
That's a possibility. The range of
imagine if I punch somebody.
Yeah, what
that's
comes
not being
back?
Swept under a rug.
That's true.
Perfect Legend knocked somebody out. Punch. He lost his temper. We knew that. We always knew he had a bad temper. There'd be articles everywhere. Kotaku, IGN, all of them would have something up.
And the same is true for women in the community as well. I think about
women get it. I you know what really just annoyed the shit out of me? I didn't say too much about it, but like what was going on with Sherry and Bunchin style, I didn't like that. I mean, I don't like that. And
yeah,
it's dumb because it's like, all right, I'm thinking, I thought to myself, imagine if I lived in LA, right? And I'm going to Wednesday night fights and I've known all these people for like over 10 years and stuff. And then somebody that I see constantly and I play or whatever, and they're just talking shit about me like that. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody should sit there and be like, all right, let me pretend I'm this person. On both sides. Like, first off, I would feel like I would be embarrassed as hell if I was Bunshin style.
One would think. One would think, but history shows that might
like
not be the case.
You can't. Come on, man.
Here's the thing about. I think that's actually a really good example to bring up is that no matter how, because this actually isn't like the first time that he's fucked up in that specific way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's dumb. And then like I saw the DMs and stuff. I'm like, dude, you need to back up, like for real.
At the same time, though, no amount of aggressive response on any kind of social media, like that's the case in point.
It's all like Twitter fingers, man. It's the keyboard commando stuff. There's nothing happening in person.
Right.
Like when they would like play or whatever, like even whoever wins or loses, that doesn't really matter. You can't sit there and like. It's weird because it's like it's a weird kind of harassment. It's like it's constant, but it's constant in like increments where it's like, oh, a couple like 6 months will go by and then something else happened, and 6 months will go by and then you know what I'm saying. And on the other end, Sherry's a damn sweetheart, man. She don't be bothering nobody. All she ever want to do is eat, play some Street Fighter, and help fools. Oh, you need a visa? Here's a visa for you. Need a visa? Here's a visa for you. Oh, you need to get to this tournament? Cool. Come on. Like, Sherry's always been the homie.
Yeah.
And she don't deserve any that because she looks good. Like, come on, man. Why are people? And I'm not sitting here trying to cap or nothing, but I'm just being real about it. Like,
no, I mean, these are just facts. I mean, she is at the heart of the Arslan Ash story of like getting him over here. Like,
right. We wouldn't have Arslan Ash story. We see all these other, esports awards things. Oh, who should be the rookie of the year? And they'll have a player there who's already been playing. Like, dude, what's wrong with y'all? And this man came out here, showing the entire world. This is the most anime story that the FGC has seen in a while.
And yet like nothing, no, very little coverage.
But you know why, right? Let's be real. I'm gonna be real about it. I mean, like, he's from Pakistan. He's not white.
I mean, there is a certain color on that particular panel of.
It'd been so much easier if he was white. Write the check. Hell yeah, he should be esports player, rookie of the year, or whatever. And you see what they did with Sonic, right? Sonic would have got esports player of the year this year too. But you know what they did? They was like, all right, this is what we're going to do. Since we don't like that shit, what they did, we're going to do a PC esports player of the year and a console esports player of the year.
Yeah, that's so weird. That's so. I don't even want that. Anyway, to get back to your point though, or the point that I was trying to make earlier though is that. I'm
sorry, I know I just threw something at you.
No, that's okay. I'm okay with divergence and going on different tangents and avenues of exploration. But you're right though that the consequences of you doing something are different, or like with women, the example that I think of is like in the film industry, women directors. It's like pretty well known that if a woman directs a movie and it bombs, that person is blacklisted basically forever, and it's very hard for them to get more work. And yet, like, white male directors will bomb on movies and they'll be giving more opportunities. It's just it happens time and again, and the same is true in other industries. The same is true in hashtag esports. I don't know. It's weird. Like I'm not going to solve that, honest, but it's something that needs to be brought up and talked about and thought of by people in positions to change that, I suppose, or but then again, who's in the position to say where these consequences come from? I don't know. I've kind of lost the thought on that one, but
yeah, we don't have the back ends to see.
Yeah, or like we're not running the shows over here. We're just trying to
We're in it.
Hold the people accountable. What do run the show, or at least try to, or at least be vocal about it. But maybe that's what we ought to do, but not in such a way that would be aggressively angry to not allow for any kind.
We
of...
gotta have
yeah.
real, civilized discourse between one another.
Yeah, in order to impact real change. All right, so before we kind of spin off into the end of the show, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about, or anything that you feel like you didn't quite nail down yet?
I think I touched on it, but I just feel like people need to be fair all around. Like, if you care about someone's mental health, care about everyone's mental health. You don't get to pick and choose. Oh, well, I don't like that person. They don't deserve to have, mental health care or whatever. Not literal. I'm talking about for them to care about their mental health.
Right.
I'm not saying going around like victimizing villains or anything like that, but you got to think about where someone's coming from.
Right.
Even if they fuck up, you know what I'm saying? If someone has a history of also helping, you can't always just be like, well, I got to totally erase them from existence, because that's how it is nowadays. Like, it's not really, you cancel somebody, they go on with their no. Like, sometimes people are deeply rooted in whatever they're dealing with. I mean, like in jobs and stuff, like someone gets canceled. Like, man, I don't want to make it seem like I'm trying to defend anyone, because I'm really not. But
yeah, I mean, you're not really giving. I mean, yeah, there's not like one example that you could say, but like,
yeah,
it's not. We're not taking money out of anybody's pockets here. It's not
right.
Not that way.
People. I'm tired of people picking and choosing. Basically, you got to be like, all right, this was fucked up. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. But also, hey, look, this is what you can do to rectify the situation or whatever, and we can move on from here.
I hear what you're saying, and
we can't dogpile on people either, because you never know what someone's going through behind the computer screen.
But the thing that you're suggesting is hard to do. It's hard. What you're suggesting is hard, because it is a matter of being empathetic towards a person or an idea that you might even vehemently be opposed to the point where any type of, I don't want to almost say forgiveness, but any type of empathy or compassion you can build for that person could very easily be swept away by something that you just inherently disagree with, by what they've expressed in the past. Now, to keep things safe and kind of cover my ass on this one, people who have repeatedly made mistakes, been corrected, been talked to by people personally in their lives to say, hey, like, this is just not how things are, and then continue to still do things that would harm other people in such a way that would almost make it intentional on their behalf, that they are intentionally trying to hurt people. You can't do that. Like, that is, we're not giving a pass to that. Just saying to be a little bit conscious about the anger and hate that you might want to put out into the world.
Yeah, if you keep flicking my forehead and I tell you to stop, and you're like, all right, sorry, man, and you keep flicking my forehead and you're still saying I'm sorry, but you keep doing it and I keep saying stop, yeah, that's no.
That ain't it.
Yeah, no. But when you flick my forehead and I say stop and you put your hand down, then I can be like, okay, I can work with you.
All right. Well, I think that will just about do it. I think... Now I'm trying to think about when this episode will release and if I need to cover Capcom Cup stuff. I might just record a very quick one and then release that, and don't worry about that. Anyway, Perfect
I was
Legend.
say, I'm down to talk about Capcom Cup.
Yeah, I was going to ask, like, how much time do you think you have right now for You have like, okay, all right. Well, maybe we will talk about Capcom Cup stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna go skating around like 9, but it's cold here, so I might not even leave the house.
Oh yeah, no, it's fucking cold, man. It got down to like 28 degrees, like as I was driving. The sun was still up, and I was like, fuck, that's. And it's like it's kind of like blowy. It's the windy kind of 28 degrees where it's like, I ain't about that life, man. Anyway, so Capcom Cup just happened, and there's a lot to say. There's like a lot to say about Capcom. It's one of those things where the matches and the competition is at such an enjoyable to watch level. Like, the matches themselves, great. Highly entertaining. Good stuff. Super happy for IDOM. That is an incredible story.
Yeah.
A lot of the other stuff surrounding it, though, the Capcom Cup as an event, a little bit sour. What were your general thoughts on Capcom Cup?
Well, yeah, on the outside looking in, because I was going to show up and spectate. I was actually in LA at the time, but I just ended up just watching from where I was at, and it was disappointing, man. Like, Capcom Cup, at least for our community, is, outside of Evo, the biggest event for, because Street Fighter outside of Smash is the biggest game, I would think, and then of course Tekken just happened, so the next event up will be Capcom Cup. And so all eyes are on it. And for them not stream the Last Chance qualifier, for just alone, all the players showing up who are also sponsored, or players just looking to make a name for themselves, even if they don't win, they can show their deep run, or just any kind of exposure would have been great for them. They could use it as a highlight reel or something for later on.
That, I will say that what I heard was that there were a lot of the matches were recorded, and they will be released in the future. They haven't been released as of this recording, which is Wednesday. But also, the game that exists is a totally different game.
Yeah, it's a totally different game now. It's like, why would you even go watch those?
Right. But the information that you would gain from it is more of like, I guess this happened. There was like a lot of cool stuff that happened during the LCQ that was missed. There was like Alex Valle with beating Itazan with Kage, Hawaiian Shirt Man, the myth, the legend, his run in the LCQ. He beat Prototype. We missed like Ryusei versus Ricky Ortiz, Commander Jesse's run, which Commander Jesse did a fucking incredible job in the LCQ.
Yeah, I heard he got second, right?
Yeah. It was like the players that he just had a great run.
Yeah.
Rob TV also got,
and honestly, good sim play is really fun to watch.
Yeah, it's entertaining stuff. It's not something that you really get to see that often at a high level. Rob TV, his run through losers bracket was exciting. There's just a lot of stuff there's a lot of storylines that you miss out on because of
that would have been great to watch.
Yeah. And then at the end of it, just getting rushed out of the venue because I guess things ran late or timing got weird. It's unfortunate that it was that way, especially considering that this is the big show. This is the one thing that you have to nail. This is the largest Street Fighter centric event all year, and we miss out on it. Then there's other stuff like, like the SFL being streamed as well and running long, and those players who actually had to compete the next day, like, were in the SFL, and does that weigh on them versus what's the big payout there? Like, is that even something that people like to watch?
Was the payout big for the SFL?
I think it was like $100K per team. I've covered that on the show in the past. Those numbers are out there somewhere, but that goes like by team. But regardless, like those,
so $100K is not bad. They can.
Considering like prize money, at least the tax you'd take away from prize money split between 3 people, all that shit. Actually, no, never mind. I was just trying to think to myself if all of the Japanese players had their Jesu licenses, and I think that they do. So we're all good there, because there could have been a Momochi situation, even though he has his Jesu license now and can receive over 1,000. Anyway, not important. But that happened during Capcom Cup, and I don't know if that was handled well exactly. The other thing of like Capcom not hiring a photographer to document the event.
Yeah, it's booty, especially since they're in LA, and LA has nothing but photographers.
It's crazy.
Especially like in our scene, like I don't understand why it's so hard to, because right at this moment we have so many people in our scene that know how to run events that someone could just hire a FGC team and do it like at 10-0. They could have had to do it. Team Spooky, they could have had to do it. Level Up, which was literally there.
Yeah,
they could have had to do it. Like,
I know the co-owner of Level Up competed in the event, so like he's there.
Man, if I owned any of these entities, I would be like, look, I would pay Spooky, I would pay Vi or whoever to run it.
I mean, I don't know. It comes down to like
this. Also, Bifuteki, he would have flown out.
I did see that tweet.
It was only because it was late. It was $1,000 for him to get there, but
yeah,
he could have streamed it too. All of them are quality streamers that have been doing this for like the past 10 years, man. The reason our scene has grown so big is because of them.
Luckily, Red Bull was there and said, we got
with the backpacks.
These IRL cams ready.
Red Bull is like the grandmother that picks you up when you miss the bus.
Yeah.
Show up, take care of things. Take you. Oh, baby, what you want to eat? Take you to McDonald's, get you that kid meal. No, not really, but still, Red Bull comes in and they do the damn thing. So shout out to Red Bull for that.
Yeah, it's almost as if Street Fighter got kicked out of the Capcom house and had to show up at Grandma Red Bull's doorstep being like, I just need somewhere to sleep for the night. I need to get through it. I
got you, baby. Yeah,
and
instead of stream things, you give them blankets.
Yeah. Come on in, Street Fighter. We got you. Red Bull and Pocky, I guess.
Oh, yeah, Pocky. I love Pocky, by the way.
Yeah, by the way, not to disparage the good name of Pocky.
Yeah.
Pocky's all right. That
yeah,
slim,
the green
crunchy
tea
cookie.
Pocky. Dang.
Oh yeah, green tea. Yeah, I fuck with that. I get down with some green tea Pocky.
Hell yeah.
But then I don't know. Then you have to consider like the money that was spent on putting that Pocky fighter thing
Let
together.
Pocky do what they want to do. Damn it. Pocky spent that money for Pocky. Look, man, Pocky ain't did no wrong.
If I want Pocky sponsored netcode, can they?
That'd be nice.
And if it had to show an ad by Pocky every time that I had to get matched up in CFN just to have decent rollback netcode, then so be it. I'll snap into that.
I know the netcode's whatever right now. It's definitely whatever. Please, Capcom. I don't know. I hope somebody listens to this. Please.
I have heard that it's somewhat better after this patch. Like,
allow me to match up with only the people in my region. That will fix a lot of stuff, because every time I get a bad connection, it's always me being forced connected to somebody from Europe, Brazil, or Mexico. No, I want to play with people in the Midwest region. That's what or in just this state. This country. That's it. I don't want to play with nobody from different regions unless it's on PC, because I know the connection is going to be bad. But I feel like the entire game is beautiful as hell. Like the UI is great, the character models are great, the colors on the entire game is great. I love looking at it. I love the way that the music sounds. I love the different like story mode stuff. I like the costume store. I like everything else about the game besides the netcode. I really enjoy about this game now. I wish the game that was Champion Edition was the edition we got for Arcade Edition, because this game is so. Every character has like some fun strategy to do. So we're going to see a bunch of different people using like, of course, your V trigger and stuff, how the game is kind of volatile with stun and stuff.
Right.
But still, I feel like the way we get to that is going to be different per character now.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. That was my gut check reaction, is that I feel like these new V skills add a layer of expression that the game was missing, and the balance changes kind of add this layer of expression. I think the boosted health gives players like more opportunities to
you can survive stuff more.
Exactly, a little bit of survivability, so you don't like that one mistake might not put you at a loss. Or
a lot of scenarios are like, this is going to happen. You're going to get stunned and survive the stun combo and have just a little bit more health to live.
Yeah, there's something about that just allows, I don't know, I feel like the way that the balance is too, if you take a look at the way that they've changed a lot of the
now you can whip punish. Now people can't just throw buttons on the screen like, oh, I'm playing auto footsies. Oh, you see this button? Oh, you actually can't whiff punish it, but I'm going to whiff punish your attempted whiff punish to whiff punish.
Yeah.
I hate
it. Like crouching medium kicks are,
and you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, like crouching medium kicks are like good and useful now, like for across the board with everybody.
Walk you down with crouch medium kick now.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing you can do. You can hit confirm off of your crouch medium kick.
Crouch medium kick reaches. He doesn't have to move forward.
Yeah, or like, I don't know what. The game just feels it's in a good place.
It feels good as hell. It feels like Street Fighter V. It doesn't feel like a beta anymore.
Back to the netcode thing, though, just something I want to point out and point people towards is that Hold Back to Block released a interview with Keats talking about netcode, which is, I highly recommend listening to it. If you haven't already, go watch it, share it. It is a very good breakdown on how netcode can be good and what that means for a fighting game if it's built with good netcode in mind. But that's just an aside. Anyway, back to Capcom Cup. And what has happened this weekend. They didn't hire a photographer. They used pictures of people that, like, from people that were at the event. They did pay them for that stuff, so I think that is worth saying. There were some people that said that there was lagging on the player 2 side with the monitor setups, like, and not just one person, like. It was multiple players came out and said that, yeah, the player 2 side seemed laggy, and it's.
What if it was a playful effect though, that was started by one player, and then everybody else is like, yeah, I feel it too, because they are already expecting to feel it.
Yeah, I guess like
that can also happen, but I'm not discrediting that because I've also had issues where I've showed up and played, and the setup was laggy. I don't know if they deleted all their controllers or not. I don't know what monitors they use. I don't know what PS4s they use, if it was a PS4 Pro or not. There's a lot of different variables. It's annoying to even list. I don't even know how long the PS4 was on. So
yeah, that can matter.
Yeah, all of that matters. And then, like, also, if the PS4 was set to Bluetooth or USB, and how many Bluetooth signals were in the venue, and there's a bunch of stupid stuff like this, which is why we should be playing tournaments on PC, but we can't because of different logistics issues that's totally different from this. However, I think if the PlayStation itself was just a better console for competitive tournaments and competitive environment, we wouldn't have these issues. Because remember, when we played on Xbox 360, we didn't have any of these problems for Street Fighter. But because we were forced to play on PlayStation because of Sony sponsorship, we never really got to fully, play around with that, because most of the tour events back then were on PlayStation 3 and other events were on Xbox 360. But I can tell you on 360, at least the older models, because not the older models, so I'm like the later, newer models, I guess. Dang, the 360 is old now. The latest model of the 360 didn't have the red ring of death like the older, the earlier models of 360.
Right,
but it was still more stable than the PlayStation 4 now.
It does kind of feel that way. There's it's one of those weird things where, and I thought this to myself the other day, especially concerning stream setup and like gear that I have running. Like, my PC is the beefiest PC I've ever had, and yet I feel like I was doing more in our streams in the past that I'm currently doing, and my PC is struggling. I don't know why that is. Feel like it might be some weird software issue where just maybe the software is bloated. I mean, in Street Fighter V, I know for fucking sure is, but how many other issues are caused by, and that's kind of a whole other aside. But anyway, at the end of it though, end of the day, IDOM winning Capcom Cup, extremely happy for him. Hell of a show with Laura, no less, and Poison. I'm sorry, what was that?
I say he played so good. Like,
oh my gosh, yeah.
That was, dude. I mean, I'm not like super vocal about who my favorite players are or anything like that, or who I watch, but I pay attention to IDOM playing when he like plays, and he makes such good reads, and not like random or anything like that. It's just like they're very calculated. Like, all right, he got them to respect and block. Now he's going to go for the command grab. You know how hard it is to get somebody to stand still so you can command grab them? It's not easy. Like hate that wrestler character or grappler users get. It is tough to do that because, dude, you whiff that grab, they get a jump in combo basically.
Yep.
Or they get the backdash and then punish you with something big. So to land that, and also it feels good when you land it. You're like, I made the good decision, the right decision. Mm-hmm. And then just like the mix ups and the setting them up and stuff, like what you, because I used to practice against Crohn's Laura, so I understand like what she's trying to do in neutral. And seeing nobody like actually take advantage of when she puts her sonic boom on the screen, because you can actually just do a, he picked Cammy the first match. You can just EX drill anytime she sonic booms and hit her out of it. But
a lot of people can sweep underneath of it. I mean, Geef can stand hard kick right through it.
But I don't know, but that also could have been the lag coming in where he couldn't get the move to come out. So
possibility.
We'll never know.
All right, but so Capcom Pro Tour was announced at the end of it. There's a big shakeup.
There's no Evo on it. That was the one thing that stood out to me the most.
I think that
around either.
Well, I kind of want to bring that up though, that Evo wasn't listed in the premieres, and I think that makes sense actually, because
it's more fair, honestly.
There are only 16 spots that are going to open up to Capcom Cup finals through ranking events, through points gained during the season. There's 14 premier events, 18 ranking events, and it's going to be split halfway through the season. So like the points will be reset halfway through, and those top 8 will be moved ahead to Capcom. That is weird to auto qualify that early in the season. But at the other end of it is that there's going to be these World Warrior Challenges, and there's actually more seats available that way. The most 22 qualifying spots through World Warrior Challenges, and we don't know anything about World Warrior Challenges. I would assume that winning Evo is a World Warrior Challenge.
We don't even know the degree of what it means, though. Either
that's true. I don't know. We don't know.
I feel like if you have enough points to qualify, or if you're auto qualified, because personally, I never liked the gatekeeping, where say I'm already qualified, but I'm still going to a tournament, I'm stopping other people's chances. I think that's not even cool, honestly.
Like someone who has the most points and
it's like, why
travels
are you
to an event.
You're already guaranteed to go to Capcom Tour. I mean, to Pro Tour, the finals.
Right. But at the same time, you don't want to take away that person's ability to go and train with the most. I mean, there is a level of keeping yourself honed and well sharpened by playing against other players of that caliber. So maybe the way that the ranking system is going to work itself out now is that type of gatekeeping won't happen, because I mean, obviously there's more seats available by not winning through points. So maybe that'll be the case. Maybe that is better for the tour. It's hard to think about because we don't really even have all of the information yet.
Yeah, like, dude, a World Warrior Challenge could be the winner of this tournament and the winner of this tournament have to play each other for a spot or something. I mean, that probably won't happen, but I'm just saying, for example, it could be anything.
It really could. They could be bringing in the other various leagues, or like maybe they'll bring in the SFL into it and say winner of SFL gets a gets a spot in Capcom Cup. I really don't know at this point, and right now we don't have that information. And also, there's no regional finals anymore. So, like North American regional finals, it's not on the docket. Nothing like that. It did seem like there were, and they're changing the venue again. They're going to Paris this year for Capcom Cup, so that's exciting.
Yeah, Paris is the finals for a couple of games this year, and it was for Tekken, I think,
right,
the year before. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. I mean, so you have that, and other than that, though, there's not a whole lot of information. That's kind of all we got. Canada Cup is no longer a premier event, so they finally corrected that decision. But I don't know. That's kind of what we know. Seth is a character now.
I wonder if they want to add like locals.
I think that they will.
The World Warrior Challenge.
I think that's the key. I keep bringing up Super League, and people keep not believing me or not knowing what the fuck that is. But I think that,
all right, we have in Toledo, Ohio, a qualifier for like the amateur Street Fighter League.
Yeah, I think that's gonna fucking matter. I think that shit will count towards something.
Because I'll tell you this, our local Synthwave, I meant to shout them out too, but I guess this is it. All right, so our local
get shouted out. Let the people know.
Show up for a monthly.
How many?
This month.
How many was that?
91.
Shit, dude, that's a bunch.
Yeah, dude, and the last tournament I went to that they held, it was 50 people showed up.
That's a fucking big tournament.
Yeah,
that's
and this
a lot
is
of fucking
for
people.
Street Fighter, Dragon Ball, Tekken, Unis, Smash, MK. I know and we also have a mystery game tournament too.
Word.
It's one of the best like scenes in the country, like easily.
No, that's you say 91. That's a big fucking draw. That's
dude. Like for a monthly.
Yeah,
that's monthly.
That's pretty significant, honestly.
I remember when 91 people used to be a major.
Oh yeah. Like there's a lot of people who like fighting games now, and there's a lot of good fighting games right now. It's
too many to play. People are like, you want to play Sam Show? I'm like, dude, yes, but damn, when am I going to play Sam Show?
I like how you said your angry reaction, dude. Yes, but I can't. Yeah, I feel the exact same way, man. Exact same way. Oh, Jesus. All right. Well, other than that, Seth was announced. I think Seth looks fucking dope.
Yeah, Seth looks cool, but I'm still going to use a nostalgia costume because it's just so weird to me. I'm like, I want to use Seth.
Sure.
I don't have anything against a new design.
I will say that moderating our Street Fighter subreddit after Seth was announced is...
People probably came at me for Seth because I said nostalgic Seth only. And then it was like, oh, why? I forgot exactly what they said. I was like, man, you need to chill, man. Like, it ain't even that serious, dude. Like, I can't use a costume because that's the costume design that I was introduced to first.
That's true. I mean, there's some people that are Mecha Geef only. So why hate that anyway? It's a whole...
I only like nostalgic Akuma. Oh, because I want to let his hair down. You can be mad at me.
Nostalgia Akuma. Granted,
I don't like liking Mufasa Akuma. I'm sorry. Put that design away.
Granted, there are people, and I've seen it on our Street Fighter, who say nostalgia Seth only. I don't like this SJW shit. And then go off on a tirade about how there are only two genders, and that shit is certainly out there. And holy shit, that shit is a nightmare. Those people are nightmares.
This is how I feel about like all that. Like, unless someone's trying to fuck you, shut up.
They continue to hate. It's just, again, like you were saying earlier, it's just a continued hate spout of what can we hate, and No, this is it. What minority group can we give the most hate towards? And
Yeah, it's dumb. And then they pick and choose like, oh, well, is this one? We'll shoot the gun at this one this time. Shoot the gun at that one. I'm not saying like the gun, but I'm talking about like point the whatever. Like basically draw attention, highlight, whatever.
yeah, point your internet hate gun at whomst ever. But no, Seth looks dope. I'm down. I'm here for it. The moveset, it looks good.
The moveset was weird to me. See, I wanted to see the regular tandem engine where he pulls you in, and then you got to deal with either getting combo or block string pressure. I didn't see that.
In this game, though, you're going to give someone that in this game?
It's Seth. Why not?
A tandem engine where it's like, oh.
It makes him good.
You know how valuable a +2 situation is in this game?
Yeah, it's super valuable. And I didn't see the DP. I didn't see a power driver. I was like, I am disappointed. Where?
No, there's DP. It's like it goes like forward more. It doesn't go up as much.
Well, yeah, his other DP did go forward. At least the H1. Remember, like when he did it, he would go forward in like an angle.
Yeah, it's a little more it's a little more angled. Like
I wonder if he still has his like EXDP into Urian, crouch heavy into tandem.
Yeah, that.
And he didn't say become a part of me again. I'm upset.
Yeah,
I was waiting for it become a part of me, but I didn't see it.
Oh well, I mean,
maybe you can say it when he steals moves. You know what? Seth
might
is
be
actually Shang Tsung. Capcom, y'all think y'all are slick. I know what Seth is. Seth is actually Shang Tsung because Seth apparently steals moves. You know who steals moves? Shang Tsung, except for he just becomes an entire character when he soul steals. But still, I am on to y'all. I know it. I know what the character. Shang Tsung.
That is such an interesting balance decision to put in this fighting game. I think it's gonna be so weird.
I wonder what move Seth steals.
Yeah, it's got to be like one. In my mind, it's probably one specific special move every time versus like let's say against a Guile, hit him with or do the V skill, and now you have the one sonic boom. But then you have to do the V skill again to re-steal the move. It's a whole thing.
Okay.
But like, I can't imagine it would be random where like you steal the sonic boom or the flash kick, because that's nonsense.
I saw the V skill commands, and I don't know what they do. But what if like when you steal someone's move, you can choose, or you basically you steal their essence, and then you can choose which move out of their, or what kind of move out of their arsenal to do. Like say they have projectile, you have your V skill projectile special move command. And then they have like a DP of your V skills DP special command or something like that. I don't know. We haven't seen it yet. No one has tested it.
Yeah, I mean it won't come out until February, so there's still time to get some teasers on that one. But it again, that just leads into the discussion of I think that this version of Street Fighter allows for a lot more expression than it previously has.
It feels very, because all right, I get in an argument with myself about this because I always see people say about, oh, this game has no creativity, or any game, right? And it's like, well, how do you measure the creativity? And because at the end of the day, when you know everything, what's being creative if it's already out there? There's nothing to create. You know what I'm saying? If you know all your options, so it's like the creativity is really just having more options. I feel like there's just more options to play now. Now everybody doesn't just have to be a one version of Ryu. You can be like, all right, well, I use V skill 1 with V trigger 2, and like vice versa, different changes and shit.
It at least as of right now, it doesn't feel like there is one. This is more powerful than that. Yeah, no, there's no one way to play. Even with Zangief, who I think Zangief's V skill 1 is maybe the best V skill in the game, but I look at V skill 2 and I think to myself, this is going to be good against this is going to be good in his difficult matchups, because it's a far-reaching move that if blocked at distance, he's safe. It is that one, you get that one hit of armor, which against moves that outrange you is fine because those usually only hit once. and then if you absorb, you can dash forward or backwards. So it allows for a lot more mobility and ability to get in against characters where he has a difficult time getting in. So maybe that's the way to play. But I don't know, because it's like literally day 3. So
yeah, there's so many options, man.
Yeah, we're in that time where it's like.
Have you seen Vega?
Vega.
V skill 2 has invincibility. So you know when Vega would just get rushed down constantly, you have to just rely on hoping to God you have a V skill, a V meter, so you can do your V reversal to run away. No, right. Now in the middle of block string, you can just do V skill 2, and he does a kick out of it. He's invincible, not during the kick, but like during the flip. So they'll whiff, and you'll catch them in the recovery frames and knock them down. So now when grapplers get on you, they can't just bully you with command grabs and tick throws and stuff anymore.
That is potentially interesting for Vega. See, there's all these like little things
that
where
literally changes the entire game. I think Vega's top tier.
I don't know about that.
Dude, all right. What's stopping Vega previously for me and Great? He had nothing to stop you from getting on him.
His abilities to anti-air.
Crouch heavy punch next.
It's good. Not at all. It's a slow one though, and loses certain jump arcs.
Well, in those jump arcs, you can backflip.
I mean, I guess you're not wrong, because the argument against that is that Vega does have an anti-air for any situation. You just have to be more mindful of it.
Yeah, you have to be ready for the situation. Like, basically, this is how you play. You basically fight them on the ground, right? But you want to constantly keep looking at the air. Everything you do on the ground is really a bait for them to jump in the air. You're not really actually trying to, like, finesse them on the ground with your normals. You're really just trying to get them to be like, all right, I'm fucking tired of dealing with the shit. I'm about to jump. That's how I play Vega. So I'm always thinking I'm going to do air grab. I'm going to hit you out the air with a button. I'm going to air to air you or something. And then if we're at a distance and if they jump, you can snipe them with the EX wall dive. And now they got to deal with Oki. And don't let your claw be off. Oh, no. Now you get a command grab on their wake up. And they don't want to deal with command grab. And you can walk them down with crouch medium kick, which is still plus on block.
It's good. The only thing that is preventing me from fully agreeing with you in that statement is that his clawed normals require a lot of commitment. There ain't
no problem. You'll not get down on one knee, man. It's time.
Okay, fair enough. But no. But again, that just leads into the conversation that I think we're both in agreement here that this is a fun game, and it's weird having. Yeah, it's weird having all of this against a Capcom Cup where they literally had to release an apology afterwards to say, hey, we know that we fucked up. And hopefully they know why they fucked up or how they fucked up so that
it won't happen again.
Right. Hope that's the hope. I mean, they've run good events.
Nothing happen again for every event on the tour. It should not happen.
It really shouldn't. You would think that things would be locked down, but especially for the one big tournament a year. But anyway, any other thoughts on Capcom Cup before we turn the lights off on this episode?
I feel like, I don't know if the community forgives them, but I do, because Champion Edition is really good. But to add to that, all y'all got to do, look, and hopefully y'all listening, somebody translate this to corporate, just fixing that code, man. That's all we want. And after that, everything's forgiven, and just don't let this shit happen again. Simple.
One could dream.
And give out $1 million.
Yeah, you'd think they've sold enough Chun-Li costumes. Anyway, Perfect Legend. It has been a pleasure talking to you. But before I let you go, I got to ask you two questions, kind of in the same wheelhouse, and I feel like they can answer a lot about a person, tell a lot about how you are, and kind of what you're thinking. But what is part one of the question? What is your favorite normal attack in any fighting game?
Any fighting game?
Doesn't have to be Street Fighter. It could be anything.
Just a normal, right? Would a dive kick be considered a normal or command normal or command
If you
normal?
like it too, sure. I'm open up to any interpretation of this question. So if you want it to be a dive kick, that's totally fine.
I like true mids, like
explain
Hayate's
yourself.
elbow, his forward punch.
Okay.
From DOA, because it's a move that you can't avoid. I mean, you can step it, but like you can't crouch. You have to just deal with it.
And why is that? Because I'm not very familiar with DOA. Or
Well, it's still okay. So I mean, DOA is not hella different from any other fighting game in the sense that it plays, you know, outside of the realm of spacing and stuff like that. And you know, different games have low profiling normals where it'll go under like a mid or something. Well, this move in particular can't be ducked like that or avoided. That's why I like it. And it's between that and dive kick. You know what? I'm just going to go with the dive kick. Let me even shut up. Dive kicks are awesome. Any move that starts from jump ins, fuck it. Jump ins are my favorite.
where you can change your trajectory at any time. And fuck with someone's anti-airs and get that big damage. No, that's a good answer. The other side of the coin of this question is, what is your favorite combo in any fighting game? Doesn't necessarily have to be tied to your favorite normal. It's just, you know, you don't even have to necessarily be able to do this combo.
Infinite is just so satisfying to hear and watch. He's like, ha 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 ha. Like that shit. That's one of my favorite combos to watch.
I'm sorry, I missed the start.
Magneto,
Magneto,
yeah. 2, Ram Infinite.
Yeah. You're not the first person to say that, and like for the same reason of the sound of it, which is like you hear that clack 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 clack.
Yeah,
clack.
it just sounds so good, and then you hear the Mastic buttons.
Very true. Very true. It's funny when people bring up that combo. That's like the one combo that I think if you just heard someone's joystick as they're inputting that combo, you could probably tell that they're doing the wrong infinite.
You can hear the slide on the medium, the heavy punch and the light punch to dash, and then you can hear it's so, oh my god. I used to practice that all the time.
I mean, I heard the clanging on your desk, and I'm like, "Yep, that's it. That's yep, you nailed it." That's.
And then the Iron Man Infinite sounds and looks good too.
Oh yeah, that's a different cadence to it though. But I like that.
When he gets you in the air and he starts doing that air fly, unfly shit with the Infinite. Oh my god, I love that. I don't like getting hit by it, but I like watching that shit. J360 hit me with. I was like, I see. I understand.
Hell yeah. All right, Perfect Legend. With that, I think that's going to do it. Thank you again for coming on the show and sitting for a little bit longer than
problem.
Than normal. So
come back the other time too.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Before I let you go, where can people find you on the internet one last time?
At Perfect Legend on Twitter, as well on YouTube. Not as well as, or like I'm saying, it's Perfect Legend also on YouTube. Well, I don't want them to type the wrong thing, but you can put youtube.com/Perfect Legend for my YouTube, twitch.tv/Perfect Legend for my Twitch. Of course, Twitter's at Perfect Legend or twitter.com/Perfect Legend. I'm also on Facebook at facebook.com/xperfectlegendx. And Instagram is The Real Perfect Legend, as in Instagram.com/The Real Perfect Legend, spelled THEREAL, then Perfect Legend. And,
okay.
I'm on Snapchat, but I don't use it, so never mind.
All right.
But yeah, those are the main platforms that I use and frequent. So yeah, definitely, if anybody wants to come by and learn and play some fighting games with me and my community, you're more than welcome to. I play every game, and I'm always looking for people to play with, especially at the wee hours of the night when everybody's asleep because I'm weird. And anytime I'm streaming, I'm just trying to get some games in and stay polished. I don't really care about the win loss or anything. So if you're like, oh, I'm so whack, I don't want to play with you. Look, as long as you're not on Wi-Fi and you're actually retaining information and trying to get better, I'll play with you. That's
as long as you're not on Wi-Fi, folks. You heard it here.
I'm just saying, man, what you trying to play online fighting games for connected to air? That's what Wi-Fi is. You are connected to the thought of a signal. You're not connected to the actual signal.
That's a good way of putting
That's
it.
what it is. When people be like, man, I'm connected to the Wi-Fi. Where are you connected to? I don't see a cord or nothing.
That internet's just a hope and a dream.
Exactly.
This shit ain't real.
The worst is when they be like, hey, my Wi-Fi is good. Though, how do you know? How do you know your Wi-Fi is good? You ain't tried to react to this stuff. Dude, look, and I'll say this. There are some Wi-Fis I've played against people and their Wi-Fis are good. Okay, I get it. There is some Wi-Fi out there that's good. But no, man, we shouldn't be playing on that.
That ain't it. All right. That'll
cooking your food all the way.
That'll do it for this episode of RSF Radio. Again, I'm Joe Monday. You can find me at Super Joe Monday or at RedditSF on Twitter.com, or head on over to our Street Fighter to see what's going on the front page of Street Fighter News. Don't forget the tournaments on Mondays and Fridays. Things might get a little weird around the holidays. We'll have to see what that schedule's like. We might skip out on one or change the dates. But other than that, that's the show, folks. And we'll catch you again next Thursday on another edition of RSF Radio. But until then, take care, folks.
Williams talks about
playing Street Fighter.